seeing me? Does say recording. Okay. What did we learn yesterday?
That when we use node fetch in the back end, we got to do some stuff.
That was the backfire of last night. Yes, when we use node fetch, it only works with the import system. It does not work with the require system. So we had to change all of our requires and all of our exports over to the newer syntax using import instead of require.
Where can we find the documentation on that at?
Ooh, it is called CommonJS compared to ES6 modules. I will post a link to that. This is not official documentation, but it should get you started on the differences between the two.
And which one is the newer one?
The newer one is ES6 modules. The older one is called CommonJS. Well, they're both technically modules, but CommonJS is using the require and the module.exports compared to ES modules, which are using import and export. What else did we do yesterday? Any light bulb moments anyone cares to share?
Got information from an API and put it in the database.
We did some sequelized model setup, got our express set up. What did we do in the first half of class?
Is that the routing?
Routing.
That was the routing. What did we learn about routing? What was the light bulb moments for you guys over there?
Setting up the front end, and that you can have a route inside of a route.
Yeah, and what component do we have to use if we do a route inside of a route?
You mean a dot slash?
Outlet?
The outlet is what we have to put in order to have our sub routes show up in our parent route.
For me, that wasn't quite a light bulb moment. It was more like someone slowly pushing up a dimmer switch. It's not quite fully illuminated yet.
That's all right. We're going to get more practice tonight. We are actually going to blow dust off an old friend, our portfolio site. We are going to move that sucker over to React, and we're going to get some database backend content integrated into it and push the boundaries just a little bit more on React Router.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I need to move my portfolio back to the desktop because it's not on, it won't get says that I don't have anything in it.
You can move it back to the desktop. That's not a problem because we disabled your iCloud Drive.
But do I just drag it?
Yeah.
Okay. I was so scared when I didn't see it, and when I finally saw it, I don't want to touch it.
No, it's fine to move things outside of that folder.
Okay.
All right, do we have any questions, any requests for next week for content that you would like to revisit?
Did we already say portfolio?
Portfolio we are starting with tonight, and we will be rolling into that next week as well.
Okay.
And we are going to revisit getting a project set up in GitHub and linked in GitHub Desktop. We're going to go over that as well next week.
Can we do more with API?
Sorry, repeat that.
Can we do more with APIs?
Our own API or third-party APIs?
Third party.
Yeah, I will look at some third-party APIs to see what projects we can do. There are some issues around API keys and copyright that make it a little challenging. But I'm wondering if we can almost do like some open-ended project where I can give you guys like 10 different APIs you could pick from, and then you could build something around it. I will think on that on my drive this weekend and see if we can do a project for that next weekend. I'm sorry, next week.
Max, we don't get like an allowance for like fair use.
We do, but then it's recording on YouTube that makes it a little dicey. We do have some fair use things, but then API keys leaking and other people using it causes issues. So I will think on a more API projects to get practice using other people's APIs. That is very much it's a good question, Zach, and it's something that I think is worthwhile thinking through of how we can do that as an in-class project, or maybe even like a group project if you guys would be interested in that, where you can choose to work on it with other people if you want. But let me think through that, and I'll probably have more details for you on Monday.
Cool, thank you.
No problem.
Where should we have ended up yesterday with the Star Wars API?
Luke just should have shown up in your post in your beekeeper.
No, I've got an empty people.
Ooh,
Actually,
Yep, I refreshed it this time.
did you refresh it on the other refresh button?
Yep, I've hit them all.
Do you want to share your screen kicking off class before we dive into
Sure.
portfolio stuff?
Yeah, I might have missed the end because I was having trouble getting it, or I thought I was having trouble. I just hadn't refreshed my screen. So I might have missed the end of the project. Share screen. Oh, great. Which desktop am I on? Beekeeper. Let me just, can you see this?
Yes,
Okay, so here's,
and you use the refresh in the bottom right.
yes.
Okay. So let's look at your code.
Yes. Was it the example API?
Yes. Okay, that looks right. Let's take a look at your server.js. Okay, so you have all the data in here. You're just missing the people.create in your get people.
Okay, what is it? What's the line I'm missing?
It's going to be right after the console log data. It's like a people.create name : data.name height : data.height and birth year : data.birth year. So
Is there any way I can just see that?
right here.
Okay.
Just share my screen here while Doug sets up so that everyone can get a quick review of what we did yesterday. Share. Okay, so after we did all of our server setup, we got our whole model of people set up, we got our column set up, we did our API call to our third-party API, right? And so we said, all right, go to the WAPI Star Wars API, go to the API, go to the people section and get out the person with an ID of 2. When we get the response from the API, we take the JSON, we parse it out, we console log it. This fetch should look very familiar. It's the same exact fetch that we've used in all of our other projects. Then we wanted to store this information in our own database. So we said people, where's people coming from? That's flowing through our database to our database model over here. And we are creating it. We're running an insert command and taking the data coming from the API response here and putting it into the 3 fields that we set up in our model. So when we look in Beekeeper and connect to the default database and switch it to Star Wars, when we look in the people table, we should see at least 1 person in there. Success, Doug?
No, address already in use. I must have something else open.
Christy, did you have a question?
Can you move my portfolio to my desktop at least until I can, or because I can't find it. The only way I can find it is if I go through VS Code. I can't just find it in Finder. The
Go ahead.
archive. Which screen should I share? The desktop?
Whatever has Finder in it.
Okay. Is that Finder?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. Do I need to? Okay.
So your iCloud Drive should be in, if we go to your home folder, here is your
Okay.
iCloud Drive archive,
Okay.
and then it should be in here somewhere,
It'll
Probably
be in,
desktop.
is this it? Yeah.
C3 might
okay.
hold up top.
So here, what I'm gonna do, Christy, is I'm just gonna leave a shortcut to this over in your sidebar.
Okay.
You can drag whatever you want from out of this
Come into the desktop.
into the desktop. Not this
Okay.
desktop, though, into the actual desktop. The files that you're looking for are in this desktop folder.
Oh, so then I take it and drag it on the left-hand side and not on the actual desktop?
Well, you can drag it to this desktop over here or to here, and it's gonna be the same thing.
Okay,
So once this is done moving, it will show up in this desktop and on the actual desktop
okay, when it's done.
when it's done.
Yeah, portfolio is in that, so when it's done, okay. I just
There you
wanted, okay, thank you.
Chrissy disabled her iCloud Drive earlier today, and that's why there's things moved around. So in case you guys are confused by that, don't panic. And I already have a very big note in red that says, make sure you tell C4 students to not enable iCloud Drive. All right, any other questions before we dive in?
Did
Ready to
everybody
go.
fill out the form?
If you have not filled out the laptop form, I don't know if it's too late, but you can make Larry very happy and fill it out. I
Please.
did not,
Fill that form out. Are you kidding me?
I don't know if other people have. That is Jesse's territory, not mine, and Jesse just got back from vacation, so I didn't have my weekly touch base with him. But I will, you know what, before I forget, I'm sending him a message.
Did he send something?
I just asked, just
He didn't mention anything, no.
hopefully that's a good sign, hopefully.
Yeah.
Today,
Okay, I saw chat. Okay, any other questions before we dive in?
today I was on Facebook and there was this thing about getting paid to study. And it was a video. And so instead of clicking on learn more, I was trying to let the video play. And
Yeah,
then the video played all the way through and then it disappeared and I couldn't find it. And I can't remember, I don't know, I didn't see the name because I was just trying to listen to what the guy was saying. So if anybody sees something where our Facebook advertising saying that they pay you to study, click learn more and then tell me.
Jesse said many students still haven't submitted. So do not know what to tell you on that. I am reading verbatim of Jesse's response.
Can we get a list?
Come on, family.
No, we need to know.
We
We
are a
need that
family.
in a
Let's
different-
get this
Oh,
done.
now
But,
y'all, now.
I mean, everybody
I'm
has
saying
the, no,
before-
I think Max is just joking.
No, I'm unfortunately not.
Said many have not.
Everybody on here did, so I'm assuming everybody on here did. It's not many that aren't here. Who?
Ironically, the list that I just got from Jesse says, Christy, that you have not filled it out.
That's not true because that's how I got the want-to information. Is he sure?
Yeah, she the one told me to fill it out. And I
The
filled
main
it out.
person must be
Yeah.
telling everybody to fill the form out. I
That's
filled it out.
I
So maybe
did
they-
it twice.
how to
I
fill
did
it
it
out. right away.
once.
I wanted to make sure I
I
got it
didn't do
in.
it twice, but that's how I got the want-to information.
All right, I will reach out to people who are on this list who have not completed it and make sure that we aren't missing anyone.
Or is the form
Am I
broken?
on there?
Is the form broken?
I'm not going to individually call out students, but I will shoot you guys direct messages in Slack tomorrow and see where we're at. And I also just messaged Jesse to make sure that that's up to date.
And what's the deadline?
Uh, it was supposed to be a week or two ago, but I will follow up with everyone individually. So this isn't a good use of class time, but I don't want to call anyone out individually. So I will follow up with everyone in a Slack DM.
All right.
We will get to the bottom of it. Do not worry. We will work on getting you your laptops.
I didn't put stickers on mine. I can put stickers on it now.
I haven't.
Sanjay, it's the form you already filled out. You're on the anti-shit list.
The anti shit.
The not naughty list.
Christy did send us a message in the private, y'all. Like,
That's what I'm not understanding. I've been harassing everybody about filling this form out.
you did.
Okay, we'll get to the bottom of that. Let's dive in for class tonight. I'm going to close that file before I share any screens to make sure that that does not accidentally leak. Okay, we are. Okay, we are starting from scratch tonight. Well, kind of starting from scratch tonight. We are going to start with moving our portfolio site from our week 5, day 3, week 5, day 1. So remember this beautiful site that we made? It's got our about section and a contact and a portfolio. We are going to work on converting this over to React. And then once we do that, we're going to work our way up to getting our portfolio in our database and pulling all of that content through the database system. So in order to do that, what we are going to do, I am going to send a zip of my code. If you would like to use Jesse said that he can't actually see see who submitted and who didn't. In the instructions, it said that you were supposed to message Jesse after you submitted it. And that's why there are probably people who did submit it and we don't know that submitted it.
Oh.
So I will follow up with everyone on the list. And if we don't have it marked as submitted, and you can just let us know if you did, and that way we'll have a better gauge of who's done
I
it.
think I'm off the hook then.
Sounds like it's time for an anonymous poll.
I'm off the hook.
I will follow up with everyone individually after class.
Okay.
So we have like an email confirmation or something. We could-
You may have, I don't know what forum platform they're using.
I think right after you do it, that you know that confirmation that you sent it, you could just screenshot that and just email it, just
Just
slack
send it to me or Jesse and we can mark you as done. Or you can just tell us that you submitted it and we'll update that spreadsheet so we can keep track on our side as well.
Max, with the portfolio site,
Yes.
if I have the portfolio directory as a GitHub repo,
Yes.
if I copy it, do I need to do anything to disconnect it?
In terminal, run rm -rf .git, enter, and that will nuke out the Git repository from the duplicated version.
rm
rm -rf
dot git.
Okay, so I am sending this in the live stream channel. If you would like to use my code as your reference, we are going all the way back to week 5, day 1, and that is the version that we are using. So I am going to my week 19 folder, and I'm going to make my day 4 folder. And in my day 4 folder, I'm using the code. I'm going to call it reference portfolio. And this is what we're referencing. So I'm going to open this in VS Code and put it on the left side of my screen. I am then going to go to my terminal. I'm going to CD into my desktop, my code, my week 19, my day 4, and I'm going to npx create React app, and I'm going to call it portfolio React. I'm going to create 2 live shares before we get anything into the back end. One of which is going to be the reference code, and the other is going to be our React code. So I'm going into pop open in VS Code, move over here, wait for the terminal to actually finish running all of that. Share.
I just got lost already.
Okay, once we have that, we are going to our source, to our app.js. We are nuking out anything that is in the app. We are going to app.css, nuking out anything that's in there. We're right-clicking on our package.json. We're npm running start. We're waiting for our blank browser page to pop up. Then we are good to go. I'm going to have the reference code, the original version, everything that we wrote, over on the left side of my screen. If you would prefer not to open this yourself, you're welcome to just use my live share. I'm not going to be changing any of the code here. This is just the code that I'm referencing to get everything moved over into React.
And that's the link that you pasted in live stream?
That is, yes, the reference code is the one that I'm going to have on the left side of my screen that I'm going to be referencing.
Okay, okay.
Stephanie, question. Stephanie, did you have a question?
I was having trouble opening the things, so I just did your zip file, so I completely missed everything in terminal and
Okay, terminal. All we're shooting for tonight. Oh, don't tell me I should close that. All you're gonna do is CD to your week 19 folder. So mine's desktop, C3, my code, week 19. If you don't have a day 4 folder, you can go ahead and make one. And then all I did once I got to my day 4 was npx create React app, portfolio, React. And then once that ran, I just popped it open in VS Code and deleted out the stuff in my app.js and app.css and then started it.
You said week
thank
5, day 1, sorry.
Week 5, day 1 is the last day that we worked on the portfolio.
Yeah, create dash React dash and then portfolio React.
I'm going to start a poll to see where we are at.
Question.
Go ahead.
So we haven't created any backend, right? Will I be able to create my backend from the terminal, from the integrated terminal? Okay, so that's what I want to know.
Yeah, we're going to see how quickly we can get this moved over tonight. We may be able to get to the back end, we may not. If we don't, we'll do it on Monday. Zach, go ahead.
Can I share my screen?
Now you can.
Should my directory look like this? Like portfolio and then all my other stuff?
You want 2 separate folders for that? So I have mine set up. I've got my reference portfolio. Just drag your portfolio React out into the, there. That's what it should look like.
Okay. And then, so I have that over here. So it's just not in there anymore.
Yeah, close that whole VS Code window and reopen it.
And do I open both of these individually?
Yes.
Okay.
Because one's going to be what you're referencing to move over the components, and the other one's going to be where you're moving it to, right? The actual React project.
Okay.
Any other question? Anyone need help? Anyone need help finding the poll because we only have 2 votes in?
So at this point, we're just supposed to have the React app set up.
Yep, and app.js cleared out.
I'm waiting for my React app to set up still.
Okay.
Then open our own portfolio for the reference.
Yes. We're not going to touch the back end yet. We're just going to work on getting things moved over. And the reason why we're spending so much time on this is you may go into the workforce and they may say, hey, we've got this old legacy code. It's all in HTML. We want to modernize it. So it is a very common thing to take existing pages, pull it into React, and then to start thinking about, oh, how would we integrate a database into this? So the database is more just practice for full stack and getting the hang of that and understanding the data flow, but getting the React porting practice is also very beneficial.
Did you do anything in the terminal in VS Code?
Just npm run start.
Okay.
Five votes in, looking for a couple more.
the reference code is your old code?
Correct.
I'm still waiting on my create React app to finish.
Okay.
Is the React new code the live share?
I did a live share for both of them. The React new code is the second, well, is one of the live share links. The other one is labeled reference code. Okay, I just messaged the 4 students, 3 students that have not filled out the form according to our records for the laptop. So I will keep you updated. For students. And if you got that message, we are not accusing you of not filling it out. We are just updating it for our records, to be clear. We don't actually have access to the submission, so we're just confirming. All right, 8 votes in, last call for anyone who needs help. Okay, let's get started. So we are going to need React Router because we're working with multiple pages. We need to identify that early on because our different pages down here, when we click on one of them, we get this summary page, right? We're going to need to store all of that in the database eventually, but because we've got multiple pages as part of our React app, we need to set up the router right at the beginning. So I'm going to Control-C out of my server, and I'm going to npm. I'm going to share my screen. And what I was saying was, we know that we need multiple pages here because this is our home page. But when we go and we click on any of the links here, we go to an entirely separate page. So because of that, we're going to need to set up routing from the get-go. Okay, so what we are going to do is go to our VS Code. We Control-C to get out of our current server. Then we are going to npm install react-router-dom. Then we are going to npm run start again before we forget. And then in our app.js, we can start getting our setup done. So browser router routes and route from React Router DOM. Then in our app, we are going to do our browser router. Our browser router has routes. And the first route we are going to do is to our home page, which is going to use an element of home. Well, element home doesn't exist, so we need to create a new file called home.js. And we are going to put this on the right side of the screen so you can see both files. And then we are going to say const home equals a component function that is going to return, functional component that is going to return a div with an h1 of home. And we export our default home. And now that we've exported it, we can import it over here from our home file. So we go back to our browser. I'm going to move my local host over into here. And we refresh over here. And where's my home? Am I missing something obvious? Let's stop our server. Restart our server.
You have to install React Router down.
To what?
Install React Router down or no?
No, I did that and it would be erroring out if I didn't. Okay, well, oh,
It's supposed to stay home.
I missed the component here. I missed the arrows. And it's still going to make a liar out of me. So we are not going to be macho. We're going to go right to the documentation. Because there's nothing wrong with asking for directions. I mean, reading the documentation and looking at the quick start, our route, our path, and our element. And I stupidly used 2 instead of path.
I was wondering about the 2, but I figured you knew more than me.
Normally, yes, but not infallible. No, if you see something wrong with the code, definitely feel free to call me out. I make mistakes like anyone else.
Well, I'm looking at mine and it says path, but I was like, should I change mine to 2?
No, I had link in my head. Link uses 2 instead of path, so I had a crosswire. Okay. Once we get our home set up, we're going to go back to our reference code, and I'm going to look here, and I'm recognizing my home has several different sections. I want to break them all up into components. So I've got this, let's call it the hero component. We've got our about, we've got a contact, and we've got portfolio and footer. So let's go get all of those set up. I'm going to say I'm making a new folder called home, and I'm going to move my home.js into my home source folder. And when I do that, it says, do you want to update the imports for home.js? What that's going to do for me, if I click yes on it, it's going to change the import in my app.js to actually reference it now that it's in the home folder. It's a really nice feature of VS Code. So now that I've got my home in here, now I can create my other home components. So one's going to be hero, one is going to be about, one is going to be contact, one is going to be portfolio, and the last one is going to be my footer. And I have one big CSS file, and I know that because if I look in my style.css, I've got all of this in here. Now we could break this up so that each section was in its own file, but because all of this is pre-written for the sake of time, we're just going to create a new file called home home.css, drop that CSS in from our existing code, and then in home.js, we're going to import our home.css file. I know I'm doing a lot without a break, but I want to get to the point where we can test, we can have something usable, right? So I'm going to go to my index.html and I'm going to look and, oh, first things first, before we even make it down to our hero container, we've got all of these style sheets that we need to bring in. So this one's referencing Bootstrap. Well, we want to use Bootstrap, and this one is our font that has our symbols in it, right? That's what lets us use all the little icons. So I'm going to take both of these link tags, copy them, go to my public index.html, and scroll down and paste them in.
That was when you imported the,
home.css, I did that in home.js.
oh, okay.
Okay, last push, go ahead.
Where did you just paste into?
Public index.html. And I took the two link tags
Oh, okay, got it.
for Bootstrap and the fonts, and I put them in index.html link. And then finally, I'm going to come down, and here's my div container, and I've got a whole section intro. Well, this container, I want to be around the whole page. So I'm going to do that in my home.js. I'm going to put a class name up at the top for my container. But then this whole section, this is my whole hero section or my whole intro section. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go to my hero.js, and I'm going to say const hero equals a new function that returns out all my section code. Then I export my default hero and replace over here, instead of an H1 home showing up, I would like my hero component to show up, which automatically added the import for me up here. Now, last thing I need to be careful of in my hero, I need to find any of my class equals and replace it with class name equals. So if we do all of that and look in our browser, in our React app, here is our page. Now, there's nothing to scroll down, but look at what we just pulled off. Everything that was over here is now showing up in our React app. If I lost you at any step, let me know what step. Or if I just lost you in general, raise your hand.
I'm just tired, man.
Okay. I see we're getting a lot of I'm lost votes. Let's go over step by step what we did here. We have lots of different components created over here. Some of these components are empty right now, but we should have practice creating a new component. From there, what we did is we created a home.css file, went to our reference code, went to the style.css, copied everything from here, put it into our home.css file. Literally a direct copy and paste. Okay, from there, once we get that loaded, we go back to our home.js and we import the home.css. Once we have that imported, we want to work on the first section of our code. So we go into our index.html, take this whole section, create a new const hero, and return out this section. Once we return out that section, we do a find and replace. We find any class and we replace it with class name. Can do that manually too if you want. There are only 2 of them in here. Once we do all of that, we go back to our home and we add in the hero component, which comes from the import up at the top. The only other thing that we did was back in index.html, public index.html, we put our 2 link tags in here. And if you were able to do all of that, you should have in localhost 3000 your page. I'm going to relaunch the poll with that overview. Work on it, and if you are still lost, if you don't know where to start, before you vote I'm lost, come off of mute or raise your hand or shoot me a message or shoot Karen a message and we'll figure it out.
We're importing hero into home.
Yes. Stephanie, go ahead.
I'm completely lost, but to start, I'm on the hero file and I have no clue where you copy pasted the section thing from.
Okay, share your screen. Okay, go to the reference code. And the hero. Oh, no, I think you had it open. Was this intro section right here. So this is our about section, and then we've got like our contact section down here, but we called it intro in our reference project. I probably should have called it that in our new one, but that's our entire hero section.
Okay. I'm gonna go keep trying to figure out where else I'm stuck.
Okay, yeah, you have an error in your terminal. So just check that. That may help figure out where you're lost.
Yeah, that was there since before, but I don't, like I said, I just gotta catch up with the typing.
Okay. Christy, go ahead.
So, my first question is, because you know mine is a little different. So for each JS, you should be importing the CSS.
Not necessarily. So we decided instead of putting our CSS in each separate section, we're just going to put it all in one home file.
Right, but I had already set mine up. So for mine, do I need to individually? Okay, so I did that and it didn't change. I don't have any errors, but it just didn't.
Did you replace your classes with class name?
Oh, in all the JS?
Mhm.
Yeah, yes, I did all of those. And because I only split the header and then the home. You know what I mean? So the only thing that I have separate, different from you guys, is I had a header.
Do you want
So
to share
my-
your screen and we'll take a look at why your CSS isn't applying?
Yes. So for right here, I did, so this is a homepage JS, and then I just, and then I imported up here. Well, where is it? Can't see it because of. So I just imported this.
Okay, and go to your homepage.css. Okay, all of that's there. So what's going on in your browser?
Oh, just a second. So it's still doing, this is still,
Okay, we haven't gotten to that section in class yet.
okay,
So just wait for us to get there.
okay. And there was one more question I had. There was somewhere where we did a link. Did we do that?
Not yet, not in tonight's class. You
Okay,
mean a link tag for CSS or a link tag for linking to another page?
it was in, wait a minute, where's my code? It was somewhere that we did, it was a link so you only have one, is there only one link or is that something that you do multiple times? Maybe
In
it's,
public index.html, we added a link tag for our bootstrap.
okay. All right, maybe I'll wait and see. Okay.
Okay. Who else can I help?
Are you copying and pasting in the code from your reference, or you just typing it over?
Oh, certainly copying and pasting.
Okay.
We copied and pasted this whole section right here. And that's what we put into our hero file. Go ahead, Stephanie.
So I'm at the part where the error that you saw before. I did have route path. It said route 2, so I changed that, but it says can't resolve .home/home. But it looks the same on yours.
Where's your home file? Oh, that's the problem. You created the home folder. Oh, sorry, I meant to do this. This home folder needs to be inside this source folder down here.
Oh, okay.
So if you move that into there, yep, and just drop. And then, okay, now you've got different errors. Hero.js, hero has already been declared. So let's open your hero file. And line 4. You got an import hero from hero up there. Just delete that first line.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And just checking your browser. Let's celebrate if it's working. Okay, almost there. Hold on, before I leave you, you're close. Let's go back to your index.html in the public folder. It's going to be right here. Sorry, I didn't specify which index.html. And now we're going to go to this index.html and we're going to copy these 2 link tags.
Not the style sheet one, right?
Correct. And then
Okay.
you're going to paste that right before the end of the head tag, kind of right here. And say, oh, hold on, Command Z that.
Uh-oh.
I don't think you copied I don't think the copy went through. And you are officially caught up. We don't have anything down there yet.
Oh, okay. All right,
work.
thank you.
Oh, no. Question.
Yep, go ahead.
So when I was just looking at what you were helping Stephanie with, I didn't have that sandbox. I didn't have the one, the style sheet link. So I added it. And now I have HTML web plugin error child compilation failed.
Go ahead, share your screen.
Where's my Zoom? So I didn't have it. I didn't have that, so I added it here. Should the title be above it?
I have no idea where you got that link tag. That is not in my code.
I thought I just saw that right here. See right here? I didn't have this, so I just added this. From the public file from index.html.
Oh, that's the Google. Okay, I'm sorry. That's the Google Fonts. Yeah.
Right, so I didn't have that. Mine is in a different order. Is it
Okay.
because of the order?
So I would stop your server and restart it.
So you mean commands? No, where's my code? Where am I? You mean in this one? Oh my God. So just control C here.
Yep.
And here, start. Yes. It says something is already running. Should I have closed this?
No, that wouldn't be what's running. What's probably running is over in this window here.
Right, but it's saying portfolio.
Okay, so you may have portfolio open. Just hit
Yeah,
yes to do it on another port. Another port is fine.
Oh, okay. Problem solved. Okay, thank you.
No problem.
So we should just have our,
This is what you should have.
okay.
And it won't scroll anywhere because we don't have anything else in there, but this is where we should be, at.
I'm there. I don't know if I clicked no or not, but I'm there.
Okay. Only 4 votes in on the poll. Who can I help? Even if you're completely lost, even if you need me to do it all over again, that is okay. Give me some input.
F5.
So at this point, what should we be seeing?
You should be seeing this in your browser. It won't scroll anywhere. There's nothing beneath it, but this is what you should have. And it should be all styled as well.
I don't know why my styling ain't working, I think. Did I miss a steps with the styling part?
The style step was in your
Oh,
in your
Did I-
home.js, you should have import home.css, and then in your home.css, you should have the entire style.css from the reference project. So it should have all of this stuff in it.
maybe I didn't import that.
Do you know any quick solutions for SVG in React?
I have to look at it.
That was my nemesis.
Yeah, it's giving me trouble too.
Yeah, the trick is to not put it in your source folder, put it in your public folder, and then just use an IMG source tag.
But I want it to be,
Interactive,
no,
stylable.
stylable.
You should still be, oh, nope, take it back.
I tried moving the style to the CSS and calling it as a class name from there.
No, there's no silver bullet on that one.
All right, I'll keep playing.
All right, 6 votes in, we are inching there slowly but surely. I know that that was a long stretch to get all of that working, but we're catching up now. I think that we have reached the worst of it, and everything else should be downhill from here. Give everyone just one more minute to settle in, revel in your beautifully styled React app, and then we will go punch through the rest of the session, so the rest of the section.
Let me share real quick.
Hold on, I gotta stop mine. Okay, go ahead.
So I'm trying to get this like import.
Capital H. Save. And now it's actually choking on something in your home.css. So go to your home.css file and look on 121. You're missing a semicolon after visibility inherent. (121) needs a semicolon at the end of it.
My laptop is gonna die.
You don't have power?
Got the cord at home.
Mine's at
Right.
90%. If
A
it's
Right here?
semicolon at the end of
I
121.
appreciate it. I'm at 14%. Yeah.
And
yeah,
We halfway.
Oh.
A semicolon, not a colon.
not.
There you go. Save.
Thank you. Yep.
Okay.
That's right.
thank you.
Yep.
What is?
You're breaking figure. Bro.
Oh, really?
All right. We good to roll forward? Any other questions? Okay. So now that we did all of that hard work and we've got our hero set up, it becomes pretty easy from here. So all we need to do is work our way down the page. And I think you guys are going to be pleasantly surprised at how fast we do that. So I'm going to say, all right, what's my next section? My next section on my page is the about section. So I add in the about component here into my home.js. I import about from my about file. Then I go to my about and fire up my const about is a new component that's going to return and I go to my front end code and I take this whole about section, I copy it, I paste it, and I replace any of my classes with class name. I then do my export default about, and I save, and I go back over to my browser, I look at my React app, boom, look who has an about section. Okay? I rinse and repeat. I need my whole contact section. So I scroll to my original code, I copy my entire section. It's a lot of it, that is okay. I go to my contact.js and I say const contact equals a new function component, and I return my whole section. I replace any of my classes with my class names. I go back to my home. Oh, in my contact, I make sure I export my export default contact. Then in my home.js, I add my contact page. And I make sure it is imported. I go back to my browser, boom, my whole contact is there. I think you guys know where this is headed. Does anyone have questions while we move everything over here? Portfolio. Const portfolio equals a function that's going to return all of my code. I replace all the classes with the class name. I export my default portfolio. I go to my home. I use my portfolio. And finally, my footer. It's nice and lightweight. I take that footer. I do my const footer equals a function that returns my footer element. I export default footer. I go to my home. I add my footer element in. And now, if I remember to import it, I go back and I've got my footer. Now, I don't have my images working. We'll come back to that in a second. Actually, we can fix that pretty easily. VS Code, I copy my weather.png file. And in my public.html, I'm going to paste that weather.png file. Now, I do have some things in here. We can clean those up in a second. But when I come back and I refresh, my weather app should be showing up in here.
Okay. Get that done.
So we are relaunching the poll. I know we all struggled to just get that first section working, but in that same amount of time, we just moved over the entire rest of the site by just copying the code, replacing class name, and using those as separate components. And now when we want to update a section of our site, we don't need to scroll through the 172 lines of code. We can say, hey, we want to update the about section. Hey, look, now look at how nice and easy it is to jump right to that component.
Oh. Oh. This one's content.
So we should have everything but images working.
Images, if you just copy the PNG file from the reference code and put it into the public folder, images should start working as well.
Oh, okay, we don't have to do anything to link them up.
Nope. Anything in the public server will get served up as it were any other file on the web server. So that's why, because they're already source tags, as long as the file names are the same in both places, they will just come over and work.
Okay, so if I just copy my whole images folder into the public folder.
Correct.
Look at that.
You've reactitized your code. Congrats.
Got a warning.
Oh, I have warnings too.
Oh, I got a class somewhere.
Oh man, all these comments in there. Them in there. That's things. Yes. Man, option F. No, just that's.
I gotta go through each one of those portfolio pages.
You can look at what do you mean each one?
I've got like a dozen portfolio pages.
Wait to do that. We're gonna have a different solution. We're
Okay,
gonna store some of that in a database and create a reusable
Uh,
component for that. Does anyone need help? No votes in yet, so happy to go over anything.
You got two hands raised, Christy
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
then Zach.
Did not have that monitor open. Christy, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen, so this be easier. So, for, what I did was I tried to, take the code and, reuse it so that I would just have, something. Let me show you. Oh, shoot, wait a minute. So basically, what I tried to do was since I had these three going, I tried to take the code and just copy it again.
Mhm.
How come the X and O and the feedback and these, how come they didn't do, like, they didn't go across like the other ones did?
Let me see your code.
Cause I just copied and pasted it in let's see. So I went through,
Because they're class name names.
those shouldn't be names.
No, they're class name names.
Oh God.
Because you can. The class
Ah.
name name. Once you get that fixed, I think you'll find you will have it doing what you want.
Okay, I wonder how I did that. Okay, thank you.
No problem. Zach, go ahead.
I think something about how I typed it out initially doesn't agree with it. For line 27, it looks like it's saying like
You just need that final slash on that input. Before, yeah, right there. And then
and then I have
28. I don't know where that closing button tag is coming from. I would just delete that. And save.
And then I think the only other
Okay.
issue I have is that there's like an image that it can't, we haven't fixed that yet.
Go to your, okay, that's an easy one too. Go to your portfolio.js. And in that IMG tag on, yeah, you just need a closing slash there. And apparently also on 16, probably on all three of the image tags there, we just need the closing slashes.
Okay,
React is a little bit more strict on when it's a self-closing, you need to have it. And I think you should be caught up. Those warnings, nope, you're not caught up. But those warnings in the console we have not fixed yet. So in your about section, you have some classes left that are not converted to class name.
thought I got them all.
Okay, this is something's in your custom code that's not in mine. But go to your input in your contact section. Take out input. Oh, this here. Hold on, this is your problem. Let me just request remote control. You had an input button here, and this isn't supposed to be an input button. It's just supposed to be a button.
Okay,
And then this you put out here as send, and then you close your button off. And let's see, over one more.
to the right.
I'm gonna let you do it. Sorry.
You're good.
Okay, so now you got an H7 somewhere. Oddly enough, H tags only go to H6. H7 and below all render as an H6.
Oh, okay.
Do not ask me why they went to 6 and then stopped there. So one trick you can do is, oh, that's fine, you got it. So React is interesting because it validates your HTML, and that can be a good thing. Okay, so you're getting there. Your section portfolio, there's an issue. And then there's a style tag that you use. So let's see if those are related. Oh, no, this way. Too far? Too far. Okay. H6. So at some point you used a style tag in here.
I don't like this.
I'm guessing you meant full width to be a class there. And then down here, when React requires that we convert these to objects. So we do that, and then we don't need the semicolon, and we need this. And let's see, over this way. Aha. Oh, too far.
Sweet.
Oh,
I'm done.
Awesome, thank you.
no problem.
Portfolio. It's like,
Stephanie, go ahead.
What's wrong
it's
with it?
like this is like it's not the finished one because it's
Okay, uh-oh, what was my good? Oh, okay, let's see. I remember you doing something with weather.png, but I wasn't sure what you did for that step.
Yep, what we did is I went to the source code and in weather.png, I literally just right click copied it. And then I came over to the public folder and I just right click pasted right into that public folder. So weather PNG shows up here. And if you do that and refresh, it should show up in your React app. Christy,
Cool.
go ahead.
So I went back and I did a command F for the class name situation. So I changed all of those, but it still didn't change. But what I'm noticing, because I use all the same stuff, is that my sizes are different.
Okay, so
for
we're gonna redo that whole section when we integrate the database. So
Okay.
I think I wouldn't spend too much time on getting that looking right because we're gonna pull all that from the database in the second half of class.
Okay. Okay. And then.
You just put it in the public. Just take the show up.
All right, we got 5 votes in. We're 2 minutes away from break. Let's go ahead and go on break and we'll be back at 7:20. All right, welcome back, everyone. We ready to get our portfolio working? Please attempt to contain the enthusiasm at 7:20 on a Thursday night.
Yes, we are.
Hell yeah, get ready.
There we go, Larry. Thank you. Okay, we've got our portfolio set up here. Wouldn't it be nice, because in our original code, we had different files for everything, right? And there was a lot of duplicated code that we had to do over and over and over again. Wouldn't it be nice if we could make one portfolio page, store all of the data that we need in the database, and then just reuse that component over and over again? So that's what we're going to shoot for. First things first, we need to get a portfolio page working. So to do that, I'm going to create a new file, not in my home folder, just in my source folder called portfolio.js. And
Okay.
I'm going to call this I'm actually going to call this project.js. Change my mind. So I make my project.js, I do my const project. I return an H1 with my project in it. I export my default project. And now I don't want this in my home page. This is the individual page, right? This is what we are recreating here. That's what this project page is going to look like. So I'm going to go to my app.js, and now I'm going to say, hey, there's a route, and the path is going to be for my project, and the element is going to be my project page. I'm not going to make the same mistake of forgetting to say that that element is a component. Project is not defined. Of course it's not. I need to import my project from my /project. Save, I come over, I click make it rain, and I go to weather.html. Okay, well, I don't want to go to weather.html. I want to go to my project page. So I go back to my home page. I command click on portfolio, which automatically takes me to that right file. And then I scroll down and I find wherever my weather.html is, which is right here, and it's an A tag. But in React, we only use our A tag when we're linking to an external site. So instead, we should use a link tag, use to, and say we want to go to my project page. So I now have an error on line 25 that I don't have link defined. Well, of course I don't have link defined. I haven't used it yet. So I'm gonna go import link from React router doc. I save
Portfolio.
what?
Oh.
I'm in portfolio, yeah. I added my import link from React Router DOM, and then down where our weather app is, and that first button, I changed the A tag to a link tag and my href to a 2. And then I said, hey, we're going to the project page. Okay, so now if I go back and I'm on my home page and I click make it rain, I should get to this very ugly thing that says project. Stopping there, making sure everyone's following. 2 file changes we made. We created our portfolio.js. We went to we went to app and added the route for the project. And then in our project page, we just added an H1. And then in our portfolio section of the site, we added this link tag and made it go to project. And what you should have on your home page is if you click on the first make it rain button, we didn't touch these other 2, but if you click this first one, you should see this very ugly project on a dark background up at the top. No, Zach, don't worry if it's not a black or blue background or whatever. That's going to be your individual styling. We're about to bring over the project styling, and then it won't be quite as hideous. That project is just a placeholder.
Where, well, on our page, if we go localhost/project, we should see the word project.
You should, on 3000, you should be able to click whatever button you put the link tag around. And if you click on it, it should take you to the /project page and have the word project.
Okay. So that would be here.
Four votes in, looking for a couple more. If anyone needs help, let me know.
Project is defined but never used.
You can name projects anything when you link to, you can name it anything. Or you have to be specific. When you're doing the link to, when you're changing the A-ref to link to,
This link to needs to match
yeah.
whatever is in your app.js path.
Okay, thank you.
Now
Um,
we are very purposely making this a generic project because we're going to make this project reusable. This file is going to be used for every single project we're going to add. And you're going to see how that works in a second. So I'm not calling this weather or MaxFlix or anything like that. I'm calling it project because that one file is going to be used for all of our projects.
so if I had.
No, I was talking about the capitalization of the P.
Oh, if you use a capital P here, you can do a capital P there, but you also would have to do a capital P right here.
Okay, so it has to be, okay, makes sense.
Those two just have to match.
Thank you. Thank you.
Christy, go ahead.
So if I had separate ones for weather, tic-tac-toe, calculator, I need to remove those.
You
just-
need to see how we're gonna set up project first before you remove anything.
Okay,
If you want to comment them out, that's probably not a bad idea.
the pages,
The cards on the homepage.
why made separate, like I did a calculators, JS and CSS.
You're gonna see, we are architecting this in a way that these are the only files that we need. So we don't actually have to have separate ones for everything because the way we're gonna set this up.
So I'm so on my app.js, I can comment all those imports out, is that what you're saying?
Wait until, just try and follow along with us. Wait until
Okay.
you see how this plays out before you jump to your own code. Sometimes working ahead isn't a good thing.
Oh, no, I was wondering if I needed to get rid of stuff to stay,
Just wait until we see how you do it.
okay.
6 votes in, looking for 1 or 2 more.
So while we were on break, I was working through when I imported some of the stuff, I had a bunch of error message that came up with like the values and class name. You can't have two names in the same input. I'm like, oh, okay. Kind of tweak stuff around and fix it. That was kind of cool.
Good. Larry, go ahead.
That's up to, I'm having an issue with my image that I got in portfolio.
10%.
Doesn't like my image. And I don't know what that image folder is, but I did have one though.
Did you put it in the public folder?
I don't think I did. I don't even know. I don't even see it.
Open up public.
Public.
Yeah, it's not in there. So that images folder needs to come over from your, whatever you're using as your base.
Okay.
And then
So, all right, images.
oh, that's just a warning. Yeah, I'll let you do that first.
Put it under source.
In the public. Okay, and then the other problem is if you read it down here, it's literally getting snippy with you because it says screen readers already announced image tag as an image. You don't need to have the words image, photo, or picture as part of the alt tag. So if you literally just remove the words picture of there,
Okay.
I think it will get rid of your squiggly. I hope that it will get rid of your squiggly. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if that worked.
Success?
No, that's still not good though. Leadership. That's that one.
Scroll up. 16. Oh, okay, go to home.
It's at home 16.
Change your screen share.
Oh.
Okay, so let me just remote control quickly. I believe what the problem is one of these isn't returning something that should be returning. Not there.
Footer.
Footer.
I don't think I have
Oh, hold on. Let me look at, yeah, that's the problem.
Okay.
So if you just do a const footer, return a div, or actually, I think we need that actual footer. And then you put in the word test there, and export your default. And see if that worked on your.
No. Oh, well, yeah, no.
Okay, switch me over.
Let's see. Did I import it? I guess that's the other question. Yeah.
No, you had it imported. This is a problem with error occurred in the link. Path name, so you got a class instead of a class name, but that it won't cause the issue. Cannot read properties of undefined reading path name. So let's switch me back over to your code. Let's look at your app.js. Maybe you've got something missing there.
Stuff is
No, I don't see any problems there. So where do we do the link in the portfolio page? Let's take a quick look there. And go down to your link tag.
I don't think I finished setting it up good.
There's your problem. Change your href to a 2.
Okay.
And then we go to the project page.
There we go. It's working. All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah.
All right. Looks like we have enough votes to roll forward unless anyone has a question. Okay. So
What
oh, go ahead, wait.
What should we be seeing before we move on?
Just the word prod. You should be able to click on make it rain here on the first one and get to the project page here.
Still getting stuff in my browser. That class, where is it said?
Okay, so last thing we need to move over is one of our project pages. So I'm going to go to weather.html. All of this style sheet stuff we already have in our public HTML. So I'm going to start with my div class container. I'm going to go all the way down and take all of this stuff over, all the way down, but not including the body tag. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go to my project page. I'm going to delete out this H1 and paste in everything that we have. Now I get a whole bunch of issues because I've got my class instead of my class name. So I'm going to replace all of those and save, go back over to my browser, and like magic, you'll see everything is in there.
So
That's
everything from the HTML, weather HTML.
Everything in the body of the weather HTML.
Okay.
So wouldn't it be cool if we could reuse this project page? Wouldn't it be cool if our project was all in the database and our database stored something like project name, project image, project short description, and then also stored all of this information in it as well. And whenever we add a new row to our database, it would automatically load in all the right content. So we're gonna try and set that up before the end of class, at least on our homepage. Our homepage is just going to show whatever projects we have in the database. So we're gonna do everything, everyone's favorite new thing. We are going to file new window and we're gonna create a new project. So we open folder, we go to desktop, my code, week 19, day 4, and make a new thing called portfolio backend.
Oh, Lord, wait a minute.
Hold on, jeez.
Like, wait a minute.
Please contain your excitement over creating a new backend project. It's not like we've done this a gazillion times already or anything.
No,
Let's
no.
see.
Week 19, day 4, portfolio backend.
You're right with this crap.
Once we get that folder created, we are going to right click, open an integrated terminal, and we are going to npm init-y. And then we are going to npm install express. We're actually not going to install body parser, believe it or not, we're not going to need it, but we are going to need cores, sequelize, and PG.
What did you run to create the package JSON?
npm init-y.
How do I get the integrated terminal? Oh, I don't need to have it. Okay.
Oh, Lord. So is portfolio dash backend?
Yes. Stephanie, go ahead.
What was it that you did in a terminal? It was npm init-y.
Yep.
Okay.
And then npm install express, cores, sequelize, and PG. Those commands are in the Zoom chat.
Okay, thank you.
Those commands are now in the Zoom chat.
Express core sequelize PG.
After you get those done, we're creating server.js and going at it. Require
Can we pause for a few minutes?
live share coming your way for the backend.
DWD. No, it's the LS.
We're just gonna get the server started and then we will pause. Just one more quick push because there's a lot of typing here.
I'm gonna raise my hand in advance. I'm raising my hand in advance.
Now we're requiring,
You're not using node fetch, Larry. Made that mistake last night. We're not making it again tonight. Danielle, appreciate the yellow light last step here because I know there's a lot of typing there. I wanted to get that all out. If we npm run start, we should be able to go to our localhost 3001. And get nothing back. Oh, server.js from 2001. Apparently, more than a yellow light for you guys, yellow light for me. My own stuff isn't working. server.get.
So we created the backend folder, we opened it in VS Code, we ran npm init, npm the cores and express,
Yep, and PG and sequelize,
PG and sequelize. Okay.
and those commands are in the Zoom chat if you need to reference them.
So
And then you create server.js and put this code in it. I forgot. And if all of that works, you can go to localhost 3001 in your browser and get the hello world. And once you get to the hello world, you are all caught up. I am polling, and I will run through those steps one more time for everyone. If I, where Zoom's hiding. Okay, Zoom had enough of me polling and it's just not showing me. There they are. Okay. New folder, portfolio backend, week 19, day 4. We open that in VS Code. We open integrated terminal. We npm init-y. Then we npm install express core, sequelize, and PG. Those commands are in Zoom chat. Then we right-click new file, create server.js. We require Express, we start our Express server, we require cores, we tell our Express server to use cores, we set up our first endpoint and res that sent back hello world, then we tell the server fire up on port 3001, console log that out, and finally we npm run start in our terminal, and we get server running. Once we see server running, we go to localhost 3001. You are able to get hello world. You are all set up and caught up. Christy, do you have more than a preemptive hand raise?
Yes, so, you know, my thing is funny. So my portfolio is a folder on my desktop, just like my C3 my code. So I did all of that, and then I went to make the directory, and it's saying, command not found MK, and then I tried it again. And it
MKDIR, did you forget the DIR?
I did MKDIR portfolio backend, and then that's when it said command not found MK, and then I did it again.
Hello world.
No
Go
such file
Yeah, I'm not
directory.
getting that.
Go ahead, share your,
Did you go to the browser to do localhost 3001?
It's
So
just
it's right
spinning
there.
and spinning.
oh, I screwed up. Make sure the cores, the server.use cores has parentheses at the end of it.
Yep, I saw that. I did that.
Okay, so it made a directory, well, MKDIR doesn't have a space between it.
Server.
Yep, it says it's running.
I did it the first time without the space, and I
Yeah,
thought I didn't.
but then
do it
you
right.
called it portfolio space backend. So folder names cannot have a space in them. So what it did is it created a project called portfolio. And if you, at which you CD'd into.
So how
so-
do I fix?
So
I'm just making sure everything else running.
if you're using spaces and file names, it's fraught with peril, always as a developer. We always avoid it, which is why you'll always see me putting a dash in any of my file names.
Okay,
With that said, let's figure out where we are first. We're in the portfolio folder on your desktop.
okay,
We don't want to be there, right? We want to be, we were going to remove the portfolio.
Maybe stop it. Open up the console.
And then we are going to LS and make sure, okay, there's nothing else on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to MKDIR into our portfolio backend.
Leave her alone. Leave her alone.
Then we are going to CD into our portfolio backend.
wait, you deleted my portfolio. That was where my portfolio was.
Try it there.
That, well, how do you think you were gonna make a new directory called portfolio backend?
I thought I was just making something new, adding the word backend. You just delete the whole thing?
Yes,
How do we get it back?
RMRF has no trash can.
That square brackets or those.
There is,
No,
That right in the
On
core.
the
it
cores.
wasn't the,
Yeah, those are
it wasn't that
okay.
Well,
archive
I'm looking
file.
at rec.
It's not there anymore either.
Lit up like his.
Server not, yeah.
That's what I was trying to say, that my portfolio was right here with my mice on the desktop with my mice C3 code, because that's how I brought it over from that thing you did, the archive. So can it be
Server
pulled
part
from
is
the
fine,
archive
so
or
I
be
don't
deleted from there too?
So
no, when you dragged it, it probably moved it, it didn't delete it, but let's check.
variables, mine are yellow.
This.
Wait, desktop, portfolio, front end, is this,
Yes, that's.
yeah,
the
but there are no
front
files in it.
Yep, did I get them all? Well, it would be giving me an error if I didn't have that, right? So express, cores, sequelize.
Like Cloud Drive, desktop, portfolio, front end. No, so it's not in there. Here's your portfolio backend that we just created,
Because that's.
and it's not,
One of the things I know how to do.
it's not in here.
Sometimes it works.
So it's gone.
If I got a different.
Yeah,
color
you really
scheme, I
need to be
express-
careful in the terminal when you're creating folders. That one, when you use an MKDIR, it doesn't have a space,
Expresses.
the MK. You also need to be
Okay.
careful whenever you MKDIR, knowing what folder you're in. Because doing it in portfolio
But yes.
was not the right place to be.
Like there's.
Your portfolio backend should not be in your portfolio front
Mine
end
express
folder.
the same colors that require.
Okay,
cores
so I
the
should
same
have
colors
just
that require-
created a whole portfolio
yours is
back
too?
and not
Yeah.
had.
That's how
not
mine
in
is,
my
but server is a
portfolio.
different color than.
Correct.
Yeah, the servers,
Okay,
yeah. Server's purple for me.
So if you schedule a one-on-one with me, I can help catch you back up to what just got deleted.
okay,
This is a good reminder that we need to be using Git for backups as well. So we will touch on that on Monday of how we can get all of our projects backed up to Git. So when they do get deleted, it's not a problem.
it's all right here. Is there any way to pull it from here?
What
It wasn't deleted though, Max. It looks like she just put it in the wrong folder. Is that it under it says like C3 classwork, and she has a picture, a PNG, and then underneath it, it looks like she had put portfolio backend. It looks like she put in the wrong folder.
Here's all the code, so.
No, not the code, Christy. If you go back to your, you just had something on the screen with the terminal.
That-
Under the calc PNG, under the CALC PNG, there was literally a thing that had said portfolio backend.
Right, but with this portfolio is the one we're talking about, the capital letters, but this is all the code right here.
Yeah, but where is? Oh, that's in your week 19 day 4 folder.
Right, well, right, but also it was there, so, okay, so it's all right here.
There was a portfolio backend back towards the root folder.
That's what I was talking about. If you scroll backwards.
This is the one that we just created. Christy, you scared the crap out of me because you had a portfolio folder on your desktop and you said you
Right.
deleted it. It wasn't on your desktop. It's in my code week 19 day 4 portfolio.
It was in both places though. It was in both places. Cause I told you I
Okay,
was moving
so
stuff.
Stop. We need to get back on track for class here. What you need to do is say, should my code be in 2 places? If it shouldn't be, which copy is the right one? Let me go delete the other one and only work out of the one that I know I'm working on.
Right. But I was moving from the archive, so that was the only reason why that was there, because I was just trying to get it somewhere so I could have access to it.
Okay, so on Monday, we are going to go through how to use Git to back up our code, to have it all properly formatted, to push to it and have that as a copy. So that you can go forward in the rest of class, we are going to do this in the proper spot. So I'm going to CD up here. I'm going, actually, you know what? I'm not even gonna do all of this because clearly things go wrong in the terminal. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to close out of the terminal. I'm gonna go all the way up. This is an empty backend folder. I'm gonna delete that one, go to my code, go to week 19. Danielle, thank you for chiming in there and seeing and commenting on what you saw. You've got
No problem.
your portfolio here. I'm going to go into right here, right click new folder and call this backend.
Okay.
Then I'm going to open backend in VS Code. I'm going to right click, open an integrated terminal. I'm going to npm init-y. I'm going to npm install pg sequelize express and cores. And while that's installing, I'm going to make a new file called server.js, and that's what you need to catch up on.
Thank you.
Okay, try and roll
Yes.
forward here.
Max, can I share real quick? Sorry.
Go ahead.
After you stop.
Yep, you're good.
Okay. So,
Just an npm run start. Yep. And then open up localhost 3001 in your browser. Only React opens the browser for you. Node does not.
We need to write a node to make Snow do it.
So just new tab, localhost 3001. Yep, and refresh, and you are all caught up.
is this okay? Okay. All right.
Yep.
We are right. Thank you.
Yep.
Only React does that. Okay.
No, did I have a hand up?
No. I just knew you were having problems. But
Larry helped me. I got it all set.
beautiful. Okay. So we've got all of our Express stuff set up. We need to do all of our database stuff now as well. So we make a new folder called DB. In DB, we create a new file called db.js. And we're also going to create a new file called project.js. We are then going to be extremely lazy and go to our day 3 folder, go to our example API, and open that and copy some code out of it. Because you guys are reaching the point where you've got the experience that you already have projects that you can reference. So our db.js is going to be identical to our db.js from our example API, except instead of people, we're going to have projects. So we're going to say const sequelize equals require sequelize. And we're going to say const project db.js in example API.
Okay, thank you.
And we're going to say const project equals require our /project. And then whenever we see people, we are going to use our project instead.
Sequelize import project.
Christy, you still have a question?
Oh, no.
And this time we have to require it.
Yes, we're using require in this one. So I changed my imports back to require. And then the other thing we need to do is in our project file, I'm going to split my screen here. We also need to set that up. So we're going to say our project const our data types equals require from Sequelize. We're gonna say const project gets access to the database via a parameter and returns a db.define project. It has an ID of type of data types. Nope, data types dot integer. If you're following along with me, I missed an S right here. It should be data types, not data type. It has a primary key, true, and it has an auto increment, true. We're going to say the project also has a name, which is going to be a data type dot string. It's going to have a summary, which is also going to be a data type dot string. And then we need to look at our page to figure out what else we need to include in the model. So we have objective, future improvements, links, and tech stack. So I am going to start modeling my data after real world data. So name and summary. We also are going to need our image URL, which is going to be a data type dot string. It's going to have our objectives text, which is going to be a data type dot text. The reason we use text instead of string is string is limited to 255 characters. So we want to use the data type dot text whenever we don't know how long the text is going to be. Future improvements. No, I changed my mind. Let's just call it objectives. Future improvements is a data type dot text. Our tech stack is going to be data types dot text, and our links are going to be a data types dot text. So once we get all of that done, we make sure everything's firing in our database properly, and we stop here and pull before I lose you guys any further. We don't actually have anything testable at this point. We just have these files done. So if you have db.js and project.js looking like mine, you are all caught up.
Did we set up a database in Beekeeper?
No, we didn't. And I was worried about losing you if we went and did that step. So I want to make sure that we're all caught up here before we move on to Beekeeper.
I thought I missed it. I'm like, whoa.
Nope, that is the next step, and I didn't want to lose you guys. So one step ahead, Christy.
Question, for the DB, are we connecting to Star Wars still?
No, well, we have to fix that in a second. I want to make sure everyone got caught up on this before we go fix Star Wars.
Okay, okay. Awesome. No. Just doing this.
None of this code is actually running yet, right? We don't have the connected coming out. We don't have the database in Sequelize. We don't have any of that. We're just getting us set up, and then we will go create our database.
So when from the project page where we copied all of that stuff and it was all red, we left it red and we're going back to it. Remember when we copied the stuff from the HTML into the project.js page?
I don't have anything red.
So. Oh, you know what? I don't think I didn't do the command. I didn't change the classes to class names.
Could be.
All right, I'll do that real quick.
Are we gonna write a script that'll go and look over all of our projects and fill the database for us?
Extra credit. We need some natural language processing there as well to auto generate the descriptions and analyze the tech stack and, you know, just drop those in for you.
I'll do it.
Don't forget to vote if you have it working. Otherwise, happy to give you guys a minute.
Hey, Mac,
Yeah.
you look at my page real quick.
Go ahead. Ooh. Okay, so just like CSS issues going on down at the bottom? Or maybe are you? I don't know what's going on there. Did it look right in the regular HTML version?
I think I worked on it and fixed some of this, but I don't know which file that was. So this is fine. Like, I'm not worried about this. But is it supposed to be going to like the portfolio page? Oh, you know what I did? Okay,
You're in the live server. You're not in run start 3 because you should be on 3000 or around 3000.
Oh,
So if you go back to where you were, you're on 5500, which is live server
okay.
or live share or
Mm.
go live or whatever it's called. So go back to 3000 and now
Okay.
go down and click on that. And
Okay.
that is the right page.
Okay, cool. I just, since my code is like custom, I was getting like a bunch of errors in project.js. So I kind of put in this link just to project kind of temporarily, just so that it would be working. And if I actually went to the page, it wasn't just showing a string of errors. So
Yep, you're good.
thank you.
Okay, seems like people are caught up, so we're gonna go do the database steps now. So we go to Beekeeper. We connect to the default database. We open a new tab at the top. Is there a close all? No, of course there's not a close all. We open a new tab, we create our database called portfolio. I click run. I should get no results. If I click the refresh button up at the top right, I'm sorry, the top left. Wow, Max. Good thing I don't have to drive home after this. Oh, wait. Okay, if I'm in here, I can see my portfolio appear here. If all of that is going right, if I go back to here, I can change Star Wars to portfolio, save, and then the last thing I need to do is in my server.js file, I need to pull in my database. So I say const db, and while I'm here, I might as well pull my project in, is a require from my db folder and my db file. So if I save that, now notice what's going on down in my terminal. I npm run start, but it's still using node. We didn't tell it, hey, go use node mon to reboot whenever my server or whenever my files change. So we control C in the terminal, we go to package.json, and we add in the script section as start that says to npx nodemon my server.js. Do not forget your comma at the end there. Then do your npm run start. And if all goes well, you don't have this issue with an unexpected token export, because in here it should say module.exports instead. So you should get a server running and a connected. And if you go back to Beekeeper and refresh the entities, ooh, made a little liar out of me. DB, acquire project, define, portfolio. Connected.
That's mine.
I have to pass it to DB up here. Oh. Sorry, order of the code was wrong. There we go. Okay, so my const projects I had up here in my db.js, I can't set up the project table, the model, until I've connected to the database. So I moved it down to this line and also added in the little DB here so that the project gets access to the database in db.js. So I had to move this project line down. I had to add in the DB here, and then I had to change, if it just says export down here, change it to module.exports. And if all of that works in Beekeeper, when you go to entities and hit the refresh button, you should see our projects table. Stopping there to poll and to answer Zach's question.
Do we install Nodemon at all?
No, you should just be able to npx nodemon it because we're using npx. npx will automatically install it for us.
Okay, so just put that in on npx.
Yes. And don't forget to stop your server and restart it. And when you do, you should see the word nodemon down in the terminal. Zach, did you have a question?
Wayne actually asked the same question I had.
Oh, you got it.
So wait, when we go into portfolio, what should we see?
Just you should just be able to see the table in Beekeeper. So if you can see projects over here, you're good to go.
I don't. It says there was a, oh wait, no.
Don't forget to click the little refresh on the entities.
I did that and then it. Yeah, I think I'm doing something wrong. What am I, so shouldn't there be something that I can click so that I can see that? I don't see like public and projects. I don't see that part.
Share your screen. First of all, do you have any errors in your backend?
No. I have
Okay,
errors in
then
my
share your
front
screen.
end.
You're not even running. Oh, where's your switch to your code? That's my code. Correct. There's no data in there, just the fields themselves. NPM run start, Christy. Your server's not running, so it's not gonna, your backend server is not running. Okay, you have to make the change in package.json. So go to package.json. No, just open it normally. Just double click on it.
Oh,
And right here, add a new script called start that does npx nodemon server.js.
Okay,
and then restart your server in the terminal, and then you should be able to see it.
all right, okay.
Can I help anyone? Oh, I guess I should have the. Don't forget to vote. I know we are 15 minutes away from ending class, but we're not there yet.
So we don't need .js at the, in server when it says const db project, it would require db/db.
You do not need the file extension. It assumes JS.
If it says no my app crashed, I gotta control C and MP run start again.
If you know my crash, there's a problem with your code and you got to fix it.
Maybe.
And the reason that NodeMon is crashing will be told in your terminal.
Would that crash if you don't put the combo after the script?
No, it will give you a package JSON parsing error. DB problems, Doug, make sure that the name of the database in db.js is updated to portfolio. Make sure that you did the create database portfolio in Beekeeper. All right, we are all quite burnt out at this point. So here's what I'm going to do. We are going to go over all of this on Monday. I'm just showing you what is to come. So do not panic. I'm only going to do this if you all agree to stop coding now. We are going to go through all of this code again on Monday. But I want to give you a taste of what's coming because we worked so hard on all of the setup. But I want to make sure you guys are all understanding this. So what we're doing, do not follow along with me, but what we are working our way towards here is in our Beekeeper, we are going to be able to go to our projects, create a new project down here, and we're going to say the name is weather, my awesome weather app. And if we apply, it needs my timestamps in there. And I'm also going to create a second project called Netflix. Again, you do not need to follow me along here. I'm just putting some data in the database. Now that I've got weather and Netflix there, I'm going to modify my server.js to server.getMyProjects, which is going to res.send back my projects from the database. And once it does that, we can go to the Project. There we go. Thank you, Larry. Okay, then we go to the front end code, not our HTML, but the actual front end. And what we do on our home page for the portfolio section is we add a use effect. That is going to, and again, we're going to cover all of this on Monday. We're going to go over this code step by step. It's going to get our projects. And it's going to set our projects into the state, which means we need state. And then for every project, what it's going to do is map over them. So we get each individual project, and each individual project will show up as a card. And when we're going over each one of those cards, the card title is going to be our project dot name. And our card text is going to be project dot summary. And so what we do when we look over here, weather, My Awesome Weather app, Netflix, movies, yay. Where is that coming from? That's flowing all the way through our Beekeeper Studio. So we can create a new row in this database and have it magically appear in our front end. And we can even do that in reverse. If I delete this row and hit apply, when I come over here and refresh, notice my Netflix disappeared. So I know that was like a code explosion, but not only are we going to take advantage of that in this portfolio section, we're also going to dynamically fill in this project page to include all of the information that we have in the database. Mind blown going into the weekend? We see what
Yeah.
we're working our way towards.
Yes.
That's why I kept on saying, Christy, pump the brakes, because we're going to get everything in the database and then it's just all going to magically work.
My code ain't working.
What, Wayne?
My code ain't working.
I
My
can't
code ain't
understand you.
working. My code isn't working.
Oh, okay. Christy had her hand up first and then I'll come to you.
Okay, I have two quick things. Let's start here. So where's my back end? Wait,
Now-
share.
I'm
Sure.
actually going to go delete all of that code that we just wrote so that the starting point for tomorrow is, pristine.
Okay, you mean Monday. Okay,
Yeah, Monday. Thank you.
so I have this, and so I have this error, and so I looked at it and I'm trying to figure out why I have that error and I don't know error.
3001 already in use, so you've got something running, and I bet you it is going to be in this terminal over here.
So delete, so close this
Uh-huh,
like that.
uh-huh. And then Control C to stop and up enter to restart.
Control C. Cool beans. Okay. Problem number 2. So I know that 'cause it's down by 111. So when I copied this, I went inside, I made a div and I went inside the div, but somewhere down here, 'cause I had this problem before. I don't know. I tried to put a div on here, up here, and try to put, okay.
We've reached that point of the night where it's like, let me just in and I will find the problem. Come
It-
on, why?
It's a div. It's a div, but I just don't know which div it is.
Okay, there we go.
It's down by- huh?
Your screen share is lagging a little bit. Div nav. Why does it go wrong all the way up there though?
Cause I added a div. I put that div there, and so there was a div inside the return. There was a set of divs, and then I put everything else inside of it. I thought we had to have a div.
You do. You weren't wrong, but I don't.
But it says 111. See, it's saying line 111, parsing error expected.
Yeah, 111 just means it made it all the way to the end and didn't find the closing one that it was looking for.
So would it go under?
I don't know if it's the internet at Common Space or your internet, but this is like really lagging bad on my side. Oh, great. So I think it's this. Do you have an opening section?
Yes. There's all sections. It was all sections. Wait, did you pass this opening section? You passed it.
Yeah, I see it. Is it just something as simple? Oh no, you know what I bet it is. It's
I put a div. I put a div there before, above and below.
all right. Section closes out. Section nav closes out nav. So you've got 2 closing divs.
So a div should be deleted.
You've got section and then your footer and then your closing div. So do you need one more here? No, do you need it here?
That's what I'm saying. It's not making any sense.
I would have to trace through your code and read through the indentation. Just trying to do it blindly clearly isn't working. It doesn't like expected closing tag for div, so there's got to be one missing here. No, so parenthesis expected. So if we take this,
Can we take that out? Because I already have a footer.
now it's still red because it's still expecting something closing. I would have to trace through it, Christy. It's
Okay. I thought it was easy.
that div goes there. This div comes down here.
So right, so the section. I
So
thought-
then the section needs to close here. Now the section needs to close there.
Oh my God.
But no, it's saying a div needs to close there.
But then the section would, should the section just come out?
There you go.
That's
You're
it?
fixed.
Thank you. Oh my God. Oh,
Wayne, did you still have a question? Or are you good?
It was the terminal. I guess it was on 301 localhost. I don't know why.
Do you need help?
No, I saw what you did with killing the other terminal,
Cool.
which was weird. Wondered why that happened. That's my question.
Sometimes you just it's easy to get multiple terminals running at the same time, and so you just want to be careful when you're using the integrated one, because that's a downside of sometimes you have multiple tabs open and you don't realize it.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Any final questions for the evening?
is there anything we can review between now and Monday?
JavaScript syntax.
Okay.
No, I don't really have anything. The only thing that I could think of is if you want to review like full stack concepts and object relational mappers. Those are the two things that you can review. Object relational mappers, full stack concepts, and React routing. That said, have an awesome evening, everyone. I will see you guys on Monday.
You
Awesome.
too.
I see you guys office hours Sunday at 5 p.m. virtually, and then I will see you at class on Monday.
Good night, everyone.